I lift up my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Psalm 121, 1-2. Imagine starting your day knowing that each step you take is guided and protected by a higher power, a force that never sleeps and is always vigilant. In the daily rush, how often do we feel lost, not knowing where to look for help? Today, I want to share with you the secret contained in Psalm 121, a secret that can transform your ordinary day into an extraordinarily blessed one. Let's discover together how this psalm, a true treasure of divine promises, can be the key to living with more peace, confidence, and protection. Get ready for a journey of faith and inspiration that will renew your spirit and motivate your heart. Don't miss this opportunity to transform your day with the powerful message of Psalm 121. I lift up my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Psalm 121, 1-2. Starting the day by lifting our eyes to the hills is a powerful way to remember that our help comes from God. In our daily lives, we face challenges that often seem like insurmountable mountains. It could be a difficulty at work, a family problem, or simply the feeling of being lost. In these moments, the question that arises is, where does my help come from? Psalm 121 gives us a direct and comforting answer. Our help comes from the Lord, the creator of heaven and earth. This means we are not alone. We have someone infinitely powerful and perfectly capable of helping us by our side. Imagine the difference it makes knowing that as you face the day's problems, the creator of the universe is attentive to your needs. He knows every detail of your life and is ready to intervene. It's like having a faithful friend who never fails, who is always present and willing to help. This trust in the Lord is not just a beautiful idea, it is a practical reality. When we face difficulties, we can choose between despairing or looking to God for help. It's a decision that transforms our perspective and changes our reaction to challenges. Let's bring this to something every day. Think about the last time you felt overwhelmed. Maybe it was a tight deadline at work, a disagreement at home, or a financial worry. Instead of being carried away by anxiety, imagine stopping for a moment, taking a deep breath, and remembering, my help comes from the Lord. By doing this, you begin to see beyond the immediate problem and realize that there is an inexhaustible source of help at your disposal. This doesn't mean that difficulties will magically disappear, but that you don't have to face them alone. With God by your side, you have the strength and wisdom to overcome any obstacle. Therefore, as you start your day, lift your eyes to the hills. Remember that your help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Trust in Him, and let this trust guide your steps, bring peace to your heart, and renew your strength. This way, you will be prepared to face any challenge with the certainty that God is with you, offering help and protection. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Psalm 121:3. In our daily walk, it is common to face situations that make us stumble. These can be moments of doubt, fear, or uncertainty. In these moments, Psalm 121 offers us an incredible promise. God will not let our feet slip. He is always vigilant, watching over us. Think about the times you felt about to fall, whether emotionally, spiritually, or physically. It might be that day when everything went wrong, when it seemed there was no solution in sight. The beauty of this verse lies in the certainty that God never sleeps. He is always alert, ensuring that we do not stumble and fall. This constant protection is an immense comfort. Imagine a guard who never takes his eyes off you, always ready to hold your hand and prevent you from falling. That is what God does for us. He is always present, always alert, always caring. In practice, this means that in moments of weakness or uncertainty, we can trust that God is sustaining us. Even when we do not feel His presence, He is there, vigilant and ready to intervene. Maybe you are going through a difficult moment right now. It may seem like things are out of control, but remember, God will not let you fall. He is your tireless protector. Let's reflect on a simple example. Imagine you are walking on a slippery path. You could slip at any moment, but if you know there is someone by your side, ready to hold you, you feel more confident, right? That's exactly how it is with God. He is the one who holds you firm, who does not let you slip. Therefore, as you face the challenges of the day, remember this promise. Trust that God is by your side, always alert, always ready to protect you. No matter how difficult the situation, you have a security that goes beyond what the eyes can see. This certainty of protection gives us courage to continue, even when the path seems uncertain. We know that with God as our guard, there is nothing to fear. He does not sleep. He does not rest. He is always watching over us, ensuring that our feet do not slip. Allow this truth to fill your heart with peace and confidence. With God by your side, you can face anything, knowing that you are under the constant protection of the guard who never sleeps. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. Psalm 121:4. God's faithfulness is a central theme in Psalm 121, and this verse reinforces the certainty that he never sleeps, never rests. The guardian of Israel, our God, is always vigilant, always attentive to our needs. This truth is an inexhaustible source of comfort and security. Imagine a guard who never leaves his post, who is always alert, no matter the time of day or night. This is the kind of protection God offers each of us. He is faithful and dedicated, caring for every detail of our lives with tireless love. Let's think of a daily situation. You are driving at night on a dark road. The sense of security you have knowing the car's headlights are working and illuminating the path is comforting. In the same way, God lights our way and guards us with his constant faithfulness. This faithful guardianship is evident in many biblical stories. For example, when Daniel was thrown into the lion's den, he trusted in God's faithfulness to protect him. And God did exactly that, closing the lions' mouths and ensuring Daniel's safety. This same faithfulness is available to us today. Another example is the story of Joseph, sold by his brothers and unjustly imprisoned in Egypt. Even amidst adversities, Joseph experienced God's faithfulness, who protected and exalted him to a position of great influence. God was with Joseph every step of the way, never ceasing to be his faithful protector. In daily life, we can feel this faithful guardianship in various ways. It can be in the form of a supportive friend, an unexpected opportunity, or a sense of peace in the midst of a storm. God works in many ways to ensure that we are protected and cared for. Trusting in God's faithful guardianship allows us to live with less fear and more confidence. We know that no matter what happens, we have a tireless protector by our side. This certainty gives us the courage to face challenges and the serenity to rest, knowing that we are in God's safe hands. Therefore, as you go about your day, remember, God is your faithful guardian. He does not sleep or rest. He is always vigilant, always attentive, caring for you with deep love and unwavering faithfulness. Allow this truth to fill your heart with peace and security. With God as your faithful guardian, you can face any challenge with confidence and courage. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. Psalm 121:5. The idea of God as our shade at our right hand is deeply comforting. Imagine walking under a scorching sun. The shade offers immediate relief from the heat, a place of refreshment and rest. Similarly, God's constant presence by our side offers protection and comfort in all situations. Let's bring this image to our daily life. Think of a hot summer day when the sun is at its peak, and you are desperately looking for shade. When you finally find a big, leafy tree, the relief is instantaneous. That shade protects you from the heat, giving you the energy to continue. This is how God is in our lives. He is always by our side, ready to offer relief and rest. In moments of stress, anxiety, or exhaustion, we can find refuge in His presence, knowing that He gives us the strength to go on. This shade of God is not just physical protection but also spiritual and emotional. When we are overwhelmed by the pressures of daily life, we can find peace and renewal by turning to God. He surrounds us with his love and care, refreshing and invigorating us to face challenges with a new perspective. Additionally, the shade is always faithful. No matter the time of day, as long as there is light, there will be shade. Similarly, God never abandons us. His presence is constant, regardless of the circumstances. He is always at our right hand, ready to protect and comfort us. Let's think of a practical example. You are going through a difficult period at work, with tight deadlines and a lot of pressure. In moments when you feel overwhelmed, remember that God is by your side as a refreshing shade. Take a moment to breathe, pray, and feel God's presence. This can renew your strength and give you the calm necessary to move forward. God's shade also reminds us of his closeness. He is not a distant and inaccessible God. He is right by our side, walking with us every step. This gives us incredible security. Knowing that the Creator of the universe is so close, caring for us, allows us to face any challenge with confidence. Therefore, throughout your day, remember that God is your shade at your right hand. He is always present, offering protection, comfort, and renewal. When the sun of adversity is burning strong, seek God's shade and find the relief that only He can give. Allow this truth to fill your heart with peace and security. With God by your side, you can face anything, knowing that He is your constant and faithful shade. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. Psalm 121:6-7. The promise that God will keep us from all harm is one of the most comforting in Psalm 121. Regardless of circumstances, day or night, the Lord is watching over us. This divine protection is complete and encompasses all aspects of our lives. Let's think of an everyday example. Imagine you are going through a complicated phase, facing difficulties at work, financial problems, or maybe health issues. Knowing that God is protecting you from all harm means that you can trust that He is in control, taking care of every detail. This protection is not just physical. God protects us from visible and invisible dangers, from threats we cannot always perceive. This includes emotional and spiritual protection. When our thoughts are filled with fear and worry, we can remember that God is there, guarding our hearts and minds, bringing peace and security. Consider the story of David facing Goliath. Despite the immense difference in size and strength, David trusted in God's protection. He knew that with God by his side, he was protected from the harm that Goliath represented. This same protection is available to us today. Regardless of the size of our Goliaths, God watches over us and strengthens us to overcome them. Another example is the story of Joseph in Egypt. Even when it seemed that everything was against him, from being sold as a slave to being unjustly imprisoned, God's protection never left him. Joseph prospered in all situations because God was watching over his life and protecting him from all harm. In daily life, we can see this protection in small and big things. It might be an avoided accident, a wise decision made in a moment of doubt, or the strength to overcome a personal challenge. Each of these situations is a reminder of God's protective presence. This certainty of protection allows us to live more calmly and with less fear. We know that no matter what happens, God is watching over us. This gives us the courage to face challenges and the confidence to move forward, even when circumstances seem difficult. Therefore, throughout your day, remember this promise: the Lord will keep you from all harm. He is protecting every aspect of your life, watching over you day and night. Let this truth fill your heart with peace and security. With God as your protector, you can face any situation with the certainty that He is watching over your life, always present, always vigilant, always loving. The Lord will watch over your coming and going both now and forevermore. Psalm 121:8. The promise that God watches over our coming and going both now and forevermore is one of the most powerful in Psalm 121. This divine assurance tells us that at all times and in all aspects of our lives, God is present, caring for us. Imagine you are starting a new project or a new phase in your life. It could be a job change, a new home, or even a new relationship. Knowing that God is watching over every step from the beginning to the end brings an enormous sense of security and peace. This permanent guardianship of God means there is never a moment when He is not taking care of us. When we leave home to work, God is watching over us. When we return home at the end of the day, He is still protecting us. This constant protection gives us the confidence that no matter where we are or what we are doing, we are under God's loving watch. A clear biblical example is the life of Moses. From his birth, when he was placed in a basket in the Nile, to the end of his life, leading the Israelites to the Promised Land, God was watching over every step. Moses faced many challenges, but in all of them, God's permanent guardianship was present, guiding and protecting him. Another example is the story of Ruth. When she left her homeland to follow Naomi, Ruth trusted in God's guardianship for her new life. God richly blessed her, guiding her to a future full of hope and prosperity. God's guardianship was with her in every coming and going, from Boaz's field to forming her own family. This promise of protection applies to us today. No matter if we are starting something new or facing the end of a phase, God is with us, watching every move. He is there when we leave to face the world and when we return in search of rest. His presence is constant and unchanging. Thinking of a practical example, imagine starting a new job. The first day can be full of uncertainties and challenges. But remembering that God watches over your coming and going, you can face the day with confidence. He is with you in the new environment, guiding your actions and decisions. This protection is also a source of peace in moments of transition. Changes can be scary, but with the certainty that God is watching every step, we can face these transitions with serenity. He is present in all the comings and goings of our lives, from the first to the last moment. Therefore, remember this promise as you go on your way. The Lord will watch over your coming and going both now and forevermore. This truth brings deep comfort. With God as our permanent guardian, we can live with confidence and peace, knowing that He is always watching over us in all moments and in all places. Let this certainty fill your heart with security and hope. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May He make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May He turn His face toward you and give you peace. May you feel God's constant presence in every moment of your day, protecting and guiding you, today and always. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. If this prayer touched your heart, leave your prayer request in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to receive more prayers that bring peace and inspiration to your life. May God bless you.